All right, so how's this for a headline? The state of Nevada does not know what criminal justice programs work and which ones do not.
They don't track when juveniles reoffend. It makes it difficult to know which treatments are working. That is the subject of tonight's Vegas Lost. John Trainer's here with that.
It's arguably the most important piece of information in the justice system. How many people walk out of jail only to reoffend later on? But in the juvenile system, that is not tracked. How many times have you been sentenced to something?
Oh man, juvenile is a number of them, like 10.
Nevada spent $90 million last year on juvenile justice programs, and they don't know if they're working. We've seen them. Spring Mountain's football and boxing programs, the Nevada Youth Training Center's independent high school. We've watched dozens of kids get sent to these programs every day, and everyone claims their program is working, that the young offenders that go there come back better people. But the fact is, they're just guessing. Deputy DA Bridget Duffy.
From my office, for the district attorney's office, to the public defender's office, to the Department of Corrections and mental health services, we all know it's needed because we don't know whether or not we're improving our community or the lives of children. It's all just speculation.
Nevada doesn't track people between the juvenile system and the adult system. Let's say a teenager graduates from a program up at Spring Mountain, then gets arrested again when they're in their early 20s. Those dots, they aren't connected. That is recidivism, the rate at which someone comes back to the justice system. If you don't know that number, how do you know treatments are working? And if you don't know that, what are you spending your money on? The system is lacking so much that even juvenile facilities have trouble tracking kids. This is what Greg Thornton of the Nevada Youth Training Center told us.
Especially a kid that's been somewhere else, like, for example, Caliente Youth Center.
Sure.
Right now, I have no way, short of going to that facility, calling Mr. Burgess down there and saying, hey, Bruce, did you have this kid? Yeah. Hey, what can you tell me about him? And so then they'll scan me some stuff and say, yeah, this kid was seeing Dr. Reutman. He did good in school, yada, yada,
and that's vital information.
Absolutely. Yeah. If you're going to plan for a kid's treatment, you need to know where he's coming from.
Since the county couldn't tell us how often juveniles were reoffending, we asked them directly. At Hope for Prisoners, they estimate at least 60% of their 2,000 former inmates had records when they were kids. People like Kenneth Dorsey.
It was like fun, it was like summer camp, like, you know what I'm saying? It wasn't really, I didn't respect the punishment for the actions. So therefore, you know what I'm saying? It was like, it wasn't nothing.
Dorsey was arrested so many times that he eventually was sentenced to a long stretch as an habitual offender. Juvenile programs didn't work for him. It's the same thing we heard from young teens. One 18-year-old who wanted his identity hidden served time for drugs and weapons.
Not even a week later after they put me on a bracelet, I took it off and left. And so then I got my baby mama straight. I turned myself in, went to Spring Mountain, got out, went right back to jail, then went up to Caliente for another violation.
Did Spring Mountain not work?
Really, neither one of them worked, Caliente or Spring Mountain.
Both were sentenced to juvenile punishments, both reoffended. How many more are like them? The state should be tracking it. It's the law. By July 1st, 2018, Child and Family Services, Youth Parole, everyone is supposed to be providing rates of recidivism. But that isn't happening. Juvenile public defender Darren Imlay.
We don't know how successful the programs have been. We don't know what happens when they turn 18, 19. You know, are they going to the adult system? Are they staying out of the system completely? We don't know those things.
Until then, listen to the people who've been through it, like a man who spent most of his life behind bars. Is it not working? Is the system, the juvenile system, is it not reforming kids or breaking that habit?
I don't think it is.
The Division of Child and Family Services tells us they have adopted a key computer system to track these cases. Tell us they started using it 2 weeks ago. The county's supposed to be using that same system. That has not happened as of yet. John Trainer, News 3. Guys.
All right, John, thank you. Be sure to reach out to John or the News 3 team if you have story ideas for our Vegas Lost series. You can email him at vegaslost@news3lv.com.